Hey everyone, what's happening? Lex back today for another Brawl Stars video, and today, Championship Challenge August edition. Here to give you the best picks that you can play to hopefully get you 15 wins in this Championship Challenge. Once again, Spin LC, World Champion, 42,000 trophy having Spin LC is here to give us some good picks for you guys, and I'm going to bring them to you and explain some strategy along the way. As always, the very first thing and the biggest advice that I can give you guys is don't play with randoms. Unless you just really like to suffer, then by all means, smack that play button and go in with them randoms. But if not, use the looking for team feature. You ask your clubmates to play with them, ask your friends, beg your grandma. It's going to be better than the randoms. So in the very first set, you're going to be playing in Hard Rock Mine, one of my favorite gym grab maps and a pretty fun one. Now, according to Spin, the best brawlers that you can play here are Mr. P, Surge, and Gale. There always seems to be one brawler that's just completely OP when these championship challenge rolls around, and this time, yeah, it's Surge. So if you have him, play him and play him almost in everything here. You'll see. If you don't, well, then I'll give you some good alternates to that as well. Not only is this comp really good in Hard Rock Mine, but they're good almost everywhere. In fact, this particular comp has the highest win rate of any brawler comp in Brawl Stars history. Yeah, it's that good. So Surge, Gale, and Mr. P, they work really good here. You're going to want to use Mr. P in the mid using his Handle with Care star power. It's going to give you so much extra range. You can reach over to the other sides of the grass using those walls that people are trying to hide behind them to bounce over him and still get those shots in. Really super effective. Gale is going to have a very interesting role here because you can go off to the left-hand side, use that jump pad to launch yourself to the enemy's other side, stay in the grass there with his stun star power, and you can just cycle supers against anybody in the grass. You're basically just going full-on aggro with Gale in the enemy team's grass. You can wreak havoc. He's just so good, stunning people over and over again, and with his damage, use Gale, bounce him into the left, and just completely wreak havoc. And Surge, once you get him leveled up past the first one, you get that extra speed, he becomes just a terror. And if you can get him to level 3, and God forbid for the other team, level 4, good night. They don't stand a chance. Use him on the right-hand side, pinching other brawlers, using this star power where it splits off his first star power, and that's going to be the better one, and you're going to have one heck of a time. Now, if you don't have any of the chromatic brawlers, some other brawlers that you can use in the mid are Jean, Poco, and Piper. It's the first round. A really good safe pick for the mid is going to be Poco. So if you don't have chromatics, feel free to use Poco in the mid and you're going to do a great job. Some of the other good lanes that you can use are Carl, Rico, Brock, Rosa, Jackie, and Mortis. Yes, Mortis is a pretty decent aggro brawler on this map as well, getting over there into the grass and wreaking havoc. So yeah, if you don't have chromatics in this first round, it's really easy to suggest a comp like Poco, Rosa, and Carl, or Poco, Rosa, and even Jackie have double tank, and with that Decapo star power healing them up, you really can't go wrong with Poco in the mid either if you do not have a chromatic. Again, Poco would be in the mid. You can play Rico pretty much on either side, but he's probably better on the right-hand side, and then using like Rosa to sneak around on the left-hand side, get up in that grass and play aggro, keeping brawlers back while Poco holds down the center and Rico destroys anybody that's trying to sneak around the right-hand side. One really big note for whoever's playing on the right-hand side of this map, their primary goal here is do not let anybody sneak into your grass. If you get spawn trapped here, if somebody's sitting in your grass, you're going to have a really tough time. So number one job for whoever's playing on the right-hand side of this map, do not let anybody get into the grass at your spawn, or you're going to have a tough time. Now, keep in mind, this is the very first round of this challenge. So above all, if you don't have some of these brawlers or you're not feeling comfortable playing with them, play brawlers that you're really comfortable with that, you know, work on this map, using some of the ones I suggested, or, you know, you use your noggin, and you're going to do pretty well. A couple of brawlers that you want to stay away from, according to Spin, are Dynamite, Tick, and 8-Bit. Try not to play any of those brawlers. After you pick up your 3 wins in Hard Rock Mine, it'll be time to move on to Bounty and Layer Cake. And according to Spin, the best brawlers that you can play on this map are going to be Sprout, Mr. P, and Surge or Brock using the Incendiary star power. Now with these brawlers, the way you want to play them is Sprout using the Photosynthesis star power. Since his first one got nerfed really hard, people are realizing how good his second star power is. And especially in this map where there's lots of grass where you can sit around, be sure to use Photosynthesis. And with him, because of how the map is laid out with choke points in the middle and the left and the right, you're going to be able to hold down one entire lane by yourself, making sure that nobody is able to pass through that area. It doesn't really matter if you play him on the left or the right. Play him either side, but he's going to be really good on one of the lanes. Now, Mr. P is going to be playing in the other lane. You can use either star power here, but revolving door is especially really good because once you get that first super, throw your turret back pretty far in the back so it's really safe, and then you should be able to build up a second one pretty quickly, and that constant pressure from the porters is going to really help you out. Now, of course, Mr. P's only real weakness here is tanks. So if they have a tank that you're going up against, be sure to keep your head on a swivel, making sure that that tank doesn't keep charging at you. Be ready to fall back and, use a turret if you have to keep yourself safe. But other than that, Mr. P is just fabulous here. And of course, Surge is a great option. You can play him pretty much anywhere, but be sure to take it pretty slow here and build up and get that first super. Play cautiously until you at least get that first upgrade, and then you can, be a little bit more aggressive because you've got that extra speed. Look for a good gadget. If you see a brawler who has, about 4,000 hit points or lower, and they peek their head out too much out of that grass, you can, use your gadget to teleport over to them, take them out real quick, and that almost builds up your super in one play. Some other good mids that you can play on this map are Piper, Poco, and of course Mr. P can also transfer over to the mid if you need him to. Some other good lanes on this map are Rosa, Jackie, Carl, Tick, and Penny. All of those work extremely well if you don't have some of these other brawlers unlocked or you're just not really feeling comfortable. Now, another great option here is Brock. He's so versatile. You can play him on the right-hand side especially, shooting down that lane of grass, holding off that choke point by himself. Of course, with his super, he can break up walls, give yourself more room, more open space to hit more shots, as well as his gadget can help get him out of tough situations or to finish off really weak enemy brawlers. Now, some brawlers that you do not want to play are Crow, Shelly, 8-Bit, and Jesse. I'll have you know, Spin, I got Crow to 1,000 on this map. No, don't play Crow. He's really not very good here. And once again, this is only the second round. So again, the competition right now isn't as fierce as it is in the later rounds. So again, play somebody you're comfortable with. It's always better to play a brawler that you're comfortable with and play well than to play a brawler that you're really not good with and just play like Lex. Now, next up is going to be Siege and some assembly required. And it's also a flashback to the first map on Hard Rock Mine because we're playing the same exact comp. Mr. P, Surge, and Gale. That's right, an 80% win rate on ladder. It's that good. Gale is probably the best brawler in the game on Siege, and that is because of his gadget and his jump pads. At the very beginning, you and your team will jump pad straight to the center of the map, grab that first bolt, split really quick, and start getting ready to fight and collect those first few bolts because getting the first spot is very important. Now, you're going to want to use Gale's star power that stuns enemies when they hit a wall. Be sure to look for those opportunities to use your super to push an enemy into the wall, burn them down really quick, and you will almost have your super back ready again to cycle on somebody else. Now, Gale's only real weakness here is Barley's, which you will see, so be careful about that. Now, Surge is also really great on this map because of the walls using that split star power, his first star power. Use those to your advantage to get those supers built up really quickly. In fact, it's pretty easy to get Surge all the way to max on this map, and if you can do that, you and your team are going to have a great time. So look for those tanks that can't quite reach you to, poke at them and take care of them. Early on, look for those squishy brawlers that you can use your gadget to teleport onto them really quickly and get out a quick kill, building up that super. Again, ranking yourself up, and then especially once you get that extra range, the tanks will have no chance against you, and you can just burn them down from a distance. And once you're rank 4, GG, it's God mode, you and your team win. And with Mr. P, be sure to use his revolving door star power here because with the walls, it kind of restricts his other star power anyways, so you're just going to get that extra value from the non-stop porters rolling in. Now, if you don't have any of the chromatic brawlers, the best comp that you can play here is Jean, Barley, and Jackie. Jean playing the mid, and Jackie being a little bit more aggro, and Barley, of course, playing one of those sides. Aside from those, some other good brawlers you can play here are BB, Frank, and Jackie. Tanks work pretty darn well on this map. Some brawlers that you want to stay away from on this map are Jesse, 8-Bit, Poco, and Crow. Some other tips from Spin here is that it's really important to hold position on this map. You don't have to go all out trying to get a round 1 win because that bot can usually be taken out pretty easy. Play for the second and the last boss, much more important than the first one. Also on this map, you really need to be aware of pinching other brawlers, so look for your other teammates, see who they're fighting, and if you can, chip in, move around, and if you can, position yourself to where you can get a 2-on-1 against another brawler. Now, if you do lose the first round, not the end of the world. Be sure to just burn that boss down as quick as possible. But if it does get down to your end, still has like 10 or 15% left, it's okay to leave it on the Ike, concede a little bit of damage to let you and your team move back into position and grab control of the center of the map. That's way more important than, preventing 10-20% damage. After you get through Siege, the next map up is going to be Heist and Sandy Gems. According to Spin, the best brawlers that you can play here are Gale, Bull, and Spike. Bull making an appearance. All right. Now, according to Spin, Gale is a must. If you have him unlocked, you must play Gale on this map. He is by far the best brawler here in Heist. Now, what you're going to want to do with Gale is you're going to want to put his launch pad in the grass right there in mid to be able to launch your tanky brawler, the Bull, over onto the enemy team's safe and get tons of damage. Now, after you do that, your role with Gale is going to be a hybrid brawler. Mainly playing defense. If you can find time to chip in on the safe, cool. But if not, play defense, keep the enemies off of your safe. And Spike here is also a really great hybrid brawler. He's going to play a mix of defense and offense. If you can get to the safe, especially if you can get to the safe with Spike by yourself and you're right on top of it, if you stand directly in the middle of that safe, use your gadget and all your shots, you can deal 40% of the safe's damage in just a matter of seconds. He deals so much damage. So if you find an opportunity as Spike, the other team's out of position, you can use that jump pad as well to get over onto the safe and just deal massive amounts of damage. But mainly, you're going to want to be playing a little bit of offense, chipping, playing some defense before you go all in on offense. So make sure that your defense is all sorted out. Some other good picks here that you can play are going to be Max, Rico, Brock, Daryl, Rosa, BB, and Surge. Some brawlers that you do not want to play are Jesse, 8-Bit, Leon, Shelly, Mortis, and... It's okay, Crow. It's okay. Your day's coming, sir. I still love you. I still love you. Okay, it's all right. One important tip for this map is to make sure that nobody is able to sneak around down towards the sides. Don't let anybody, go all the way down the sides and around and into one of those pockets on the left or right hand sides. If they do, whenever you die, be sure to double team that person to get them out of the grass if at all possible. You don't want them sitting there chipping away at your safe indefinitely. In most cases, there are some very rare cases like Nita when she does not have a bear, or Poco if somebody decides they want to play a Poco. One of those brawlers by themselves on the safe, not a big deal. By all means, let them have fun on the safe. You go take that 3-on-2 and wreck the other team's safe. But for the most part, don't let anybody sneak down the sides or sit in those pockets on the corners. Be sure to get them out of there and watch for that happening. Now, the competition will be getting pretty fierce here, but if you've made it to the last and final round, you're going to be in Backyard Bowl here in Brawl Ball. And for this map, the best brawlers that you can play are going to be Pam, Mr. P, and Gale. Again, Mr. P is so good everywhere. You're going to want to use that handle with care, star power, get that extra range. Gale, of course, has the jump pad. He's got tons of range. And Pam is actually really sneaky good. People really underestimate how much damage that she can do from range. You're going to want to play Pam over on the lane. Left or right, doesn't really matter, but you're going to want to play her kind of a mix of both aggro and chipping at long range at times. Build up that super as quickly as possible and then put it behind one of the smaller walls on your side of the map. That way the healing can still get some good effect and you can go back and use the gadget if you need to, but it's also somewhat protected. With Pam, it's really easy to get good positioning on your enemies by chipping away at them, slowly pushing forward with your team, and then holding a strong position, and then looking for that opportunity to score. Now, Mr. P is a really great brawler on this map because of his insane range that he has with his handle with care star power. You're going to be able to easy chip away at those brawlers who sit behind the walls there in front, as they tend to do, get lots of pressure, and you should be able to get your super pretty quickly. Be sure, again, to toss that super way back in the back, even in your own goal. If you're back there, that's perfectly fine. I mean, don't take a trip back to the goal just to throw it back there, seeing the sights. But if you happen to be back there, if you die, you can drop it in there while you respawn. But yeah, put that super down safe. It's going to apply tons of constant pressure, and Mr. P is going to do really well either in the mid or in the lane. And then once again, Gale is just ridiculously good in the game, in the meta right now, but also on this map with his really long range. And his shots are easier to hit than, like, say, Piper or a Brock, as well as they deal 1,700 damage per shot at range. It's easier to hit, as well as his super is so great for defending. If you get a big push coming at you, you can easily push them back, knock the ball out of their hands, and you can really save the day with Gale being able to cycle those supers so quick. And then on offense, if you see another brawler is going in or they just get the ball, you can kick the ball and then use your super to push them away back behind the goal, that works really well too. Now with Gale, be sure to use his gadget like either in the spawn or just right at the goal line to be able to launch yourself to get back up into the fight as quick as possible. Some other good brawlers in the mid here are Piper, Jean, and Brock. Again, this is a really long range map. If you can hit your shots with the long range brawlers and the long range comps, you're going to be doing pretty darn well. Some other good lanes that you can play here are Brock, Bo, Surge, Penny, Bee, and Mortis. Yes, I said Mortis. And the only reason why Mortis is decent on this map, and only for the really good Mortis players, is because he counters a lot of the really best picks on this map. Some of the squishier brawlers, if you can get close to him, dodge some shots, Mortis can do extremely well here. But again, only if you're good with Mortis. Some brawlers that you do not want to play are Jesse, Dynamite, Tick, and Bull. He didn't say Crow. Crow. He didn't recommend you, buddy. But he didn't say I couldn't play you. Yeah. Now, one thing to note about the comp that's been suggested, it's a very, very good comp. However, the only weakness it really has is it doesn't have a wall breaker. So if you feel like you really need a wall breaker, be sure to bring like a Penny or a Brock or some other brawler that can really break open those walls if you feel like you really need it. But above all, be patient on this map. Don't have to rush and panic trying to get that goal. Make sure, you take your time. When you get that team wipe, when you get that good opportunity, when most of your brawlers are at full health and can make that push, that's the time to score. And of course, one really good skill here, if you're good at it, you're going to really be able to help out your team, is being able to dodge shots. If you can dodge shots pretty consistently, you can slowly work your way and push up on this map, gaining positioning. And once you get to that point, you can spawn trap the other teams and just keep cycling their deaths until you find that opportunity to score. All right, so there you guys go. There are your picks for the August Championship Challenge. I hope that this guide helps you some. Again, don't play with randoms. Do your best. Play brawlers that you're comfortable with. And if you don't win it all, don't get down on yourself because, hey, it's free star points no matter what. Even if you lose out in 6, you just got yourself some free star points. Can't beat free, can you? I mean, I guess if they give you gems and star points, you could beat it then. Never mind. Scratch that. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out. It's okay, buddy. I still love you. Thanks for the mug, OJ.